Welcome back to the She's Just Like Me podcast with your host, Issa.
And Sophie, and today we're going to be going through all your submissions, any advice, any tea, anything that you might have sent our way. We're going to keep it fully anonymous, but we're just happy and here to share it with you.
Yeah, we're gonna react. We're gonna give you advice that's really not warranted nor wanted and probably wrong, but we're gonna give you our advice and we're gonna give you our 2 cents.
I think it was
And
wanted because they sent it to us.
it was wanted, but it's not right.
Correct.
Correct.
We're not medical professionals, guys, please.
No,
But
disclaimer. But this is what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna chat and kiki with you guys, and I think we should do a little weekend update. I know that the Grammys were last night. We know that Taylor's coming out with an album. How are we feeling? What do you think the vibes are gonna be?
so incredibly excited. What is it that she called it? The Tortured Poets Department. So
Yeah.
incredibly excited because also coming out to the lore is that her ex Joe Alwyn and then obviously Phoebe Bridgers' ex Paul Mescal, they had a group chat with Andrew Scott of Fleabag. Also, I think he was in Sherlock at one point. I don't know.
No idea.
That they had a group chat called the Tortured Men something, the
Oh,
Tortured Men Association,
tea.
something like that. So I think it could be a direct rip off of that. And if that's the case, hysterical, good for Taylor. It's so
That's
Jover
tea.
for Joe Alwyn. Yeah.
That's tea. I love that. I don't know what the vibe is gonna be, what the sound is gonna be, but I'm excited. We're all waiting for Reputation, and we're eager. So
True. I thought it was going to be a Reputation announcement, but honestly, I'll take
yeah.
it.
I mean,
Also, I
she
kind
was
of feel sorry.
no, she was wearing the necklace that was a watch. So I was like, I feel like it's
Yes,
coming. I was like, I feel like she's gonna announce Reputation, but
she loves her Easter eggs, but I guess it was just taking time
tick tick.
to her new announcement.
Yeah,
But I also feel like this album is very like Maddie Healy inspired, and that is really exciting to me.
that really could be the case. Yeah, I mean,
As
she
we
did
as we
like one
know,
of her.
my favorite
Of
band in
course,
the whole wide world.
of course. No one knew that actually. No one actually knows that
No, no
Sophie's
one knew
favorite
that.
band ever
No
is
one knew that.
605. I think I'm excited for it. I like anything that she kind of comes out with. So I love Poppy Taylor, but you know, we'll see. She's a lyricist at the end of the day, and
That is
we'll see
true.
what she has to offer. Sophie, how was your weekend aside from what happened at the Grammys?
Well, aside from what happened at the Grammys, I went to this really good dim sum place on
Mm.
Friday, and I have not had like chicken bao buns in a really long time. And so when I saw that they had like a steamed chicken bun, so excited. I ordered that immediately. The second it got to the table, I ate one.
As you
And so
should.
then Nikki to my left is about to eat one, and I'm like, wait, Nikki, don't eat it yet. There's a paper at the bottom of it. And then it hit me. I didn't rip the paper off of mine. So I fully digested whatever paper that was. And at first, like, I was kind of in denial about it. I was like, no, 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 because like I definitely would have felt it. But then I started feeling like pieces of paper like stuck in my teeth, and I started like slowly like pulling them out of my mouth. Sure enough, I had ingested an entire piece of paper.
No, I don't think the paper's related. I think this is from a previous experience for
Oh
sure.
no, no,
You took
so
the
true,
paper off.
so true. So
No,
true.
you
But
you took the
yeah.
paper off.
Yeah, I was kind of scared that it would get me constipated, but it didn't. So thank God.
You know what? It ran right through you.
Thank God for that.
Thank God. I think that's a human experience. I think everyone has gone through that. And that's the
Have
advice I'm going to tell you.
guys, if you've gone down the experience of going to a dim sum place and eating rice paper from the bottom, I don't even know if it was rice paper, paper from the bottom of your chicken bao buns, let me know.
Y'all ever eat paper? When I was little, my dad would I would constantly see him. I'd be like, "Can I have a piece of gum?" Because I'd see him chewing something. And he'd pull out like a little ball of paper, like he'd be chewing paper. And I was like, "That's questionable." And so I started doing that. So I started like taking little piece of paper and like chewing on it.
That's
ADHD.
that's an interesting thing that your dad would do. So
Yeah, he would also put little like dinner rolls and fruit punch. Delicious. Anyways,
actually,
moving
okay,
on.
that's not that gross. Listen, that's not that gross because I used to do that on Pizza Fridays at school. When I would finish the pizza, I would get a little, like a small little cup, dunk some of my Hawaiian punch, fruit punch in there, and dunk the crust in it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know
Yeah,
exactly. It's actually really
yeah.
yummy. It's actually really. You get a little sweet. You get a little savory.
It is really yummy, and I used to put like ruffles in between my pizza slices,
Oh, of course.
so I would eat it like a pizza sandwich with like the ruffles in between.
Of course. It's like if you put like chips in your sandwiches or like on your hot dogs, like you get a
So good,
crunch.
dude. So good. I thought I had invented cooking when I was little. I was like,
And you
damn,
did.
I
And you did.
invented cooking. I invented
Cooking,
cooking.
it didn't exist until that moment, actually.
Exactly. When I was like in sixth grade, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's been around that long,
How was your
honestly.
weekend?
It was great. I went to the staycation, or I went to the Ritz-Carlton on a little staycation, got massages with my husband. It was
Ooh.
good. I sang with a band at a restaurant, at a bar. It was amazing. I had my like little Beyonce moment.
That's because you
And
are.
because I am, we
I've never
actually,
seen you and Beyonce in the same room.
I was gonna say, you've never seen us in the same place at the same time.
That's crazy now that I think about
Basically,
that.
basically born on the same day. So it was amazing. Did
Whoa.
shopping, spent a lot of money, but no regrets, no looking back. And now here we are, ready to. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling good. So that's all that matters.
I'm also feeling maybe not refreshed, but I'm feeling excited. Excited.
Jesus, my lord. We're really excited to talk to you guys about your submissions. Listen, y'all, all 14 of you have been slacking. We asked you, and you didn't deliver until, you know, when the pressure is what's up.
But
When
that's okay. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's better late than never, and that's okay. We're just thankful that you thankful that you guys want to collaborate with us on this podcast.
Yeah, but we're also watching you.
Isa.
Y'all better sleep with one eye open tonight.
We are just thankful for the collaboration, guys. Do
Yeah,
you want
let's
me to
get
read
into
the
it.
first one? I have it open here.
Take it away. Take me away to my great escape.
All right, so anonymous number 1. We have to start naming these people.
Give it up
So
for anonymous number one.
anonymous number 1. We can name anonymous number 1
The next one,
Annie. Annie for
Annie.
anonymous. Annie for anonymous.
Okay,
Okay,
so the next one will be B because it'll be number two. Okay, Annie.
correct. Annie A. So Annie A says, "This one time my ex and I broke up and he took a girl that I hated that lived in my building on a date and then
Ooh.
told her that he was willing to commit to her. And then on the same night he told me he loved me, but it was because she had rejected him."
And she ends it with live, laugh, love.
That is foul. I think
That's
that
disgusting.
um Any A, I think you need to have him explode, and I think you need to send him lasers with your eyes so he can explode on spot and be the first victim of spontaneous human combustion.
You know, I think one, correct. Two, I think it's so slimy, and I'm glad that like you didn't get far in to this like
Correct.
situationship before having to see any like red flags. Like it was at the beginning that you saw the red flags, which is like good. You know, that's the bright side of this. However, that is so slimy, and it's like it men, why? First of all, second, the fact that you can't take rejection, so you just end up going back to the person that you didn't even want to be with, like
Yeah, you just end up going back to that comfort, and that's such a disservice to the other person.
yeah, to all parties involved, because one, the man is disgusting, and settling. You should never settle. You should look for something that is for
That's true,
you.
but the man in the situation, her ex, is benefiting off of Annie A for the comfort and the
Yeah.
love and the care that she used to provide for him.
And that's not a good feeling for Annie A, because
No.
then you only feel valued and you only feel worthy and wanted in those moments that is convenient for the other person. And
Correct,
that's
and
a
that's
really shitty
not
feeling to feel.
That's not how love works. So, anyway, we're glad that you're out of that situation. We're glad that he's your ex because you
Hmm.
realize and you recognize that that's not something for you. That's not the love that you deserve.
And speaking of exes, we have Becky B, anonymous number two.
Becky B.
Becky B.
Becky
So the
B
next,
says,
yeah. So speaking of exes, Becky B says, my ex boyfriend slept with my ex best friend at my 21st birthday party. Oof.
that is, listen, glad they're both exes in their
Yes.
own
Yes.
respective relationships because my fucking God, they suck.
That is
Sorry.
foul because, like, one, ill, two, gross, three, at your 21st birthday party, like, it's your birthday party, first of all. It is a huge milestone. You should be happy. You should be celebrating surrounded by people
Correct.
that love you and you love them. And I'm not sure if this was like this happened while Becky B was dating and friends with this person and that's why they are exes, but I don't know if it's like they were already exes because both situations would be bad.
Dude, yeah, that's bad. I think it's kind of a shame because that's one of those milestone birthdays that if you have a partner and you have a best friend, like they're very heavily involved into planning and coordinating to an extent. So
Mhm.
I get it. Like that is just like double the dagger in your heart. And sorry you had to go through that.
I
But my
wonder,
God, dude, people
like
suck. People are genuinely awful. What goes through your mind?
if you're gonna cheat, please do your partner a disservice and break the f up with them and just say, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You know,
I
like
Yeah.
it's so much easier said than done, but like that is the correct thing to do. And I just have never understood the whole concept of cheating. However, to do it with your partner's best friend, like that best friend, like breakups are hard, but friendship breakups,
Dude, they hit hard.
they hit hard. Like
They
they
hit
hurt
hard,
really
dude.
bad because like, you can kind of move on from both situations and you can kind of like not to replace them, but like you can find someone new, but like those friendship breakups are hard, especially if you've been friends for a long time and have experienced a lot of things together and really honestly liked the person's company.
Yeah, I know. And like, I'm assuming that like your ex best friend was a female. So like that foundation of a female friendship is
Hmm.
just so incredibly important to have that trust and love like ripped out from underneath you. I'm sure that shattered your world. And I'm so, again, so
I'm so
sorry that you had to
sorry.
go through that because that is shit from my butt, respectfully.
I'm so happy that you're able to move on and have those people as part of your past and not as your present because they do not deserve you. They do not deserve you, Becky B girl.
What
But
goes through people's mind that they're going to cheat?
I've never understood it. I've
How
never
do you,
understood it.
like, having a partner is so incredibly time consuming. Where do
Hmm.
you find, and I don't say time consuming in like a derogatory way at all. It's just like, where do you find the time to then dedicate it to a secondary partner?
I can't even find the time to for myself. I'm like, I can't even find the time for like my friends. Like I don't understand.
It's crazy. It's, I don't know. I think I was having this conversation with my boyfriend the other day too. It's just like people who do that to their partners are like, you would hope that your partners are so incredibly loyal to you and like their love and respect is like unwavering to the extent that like this is never going to even cross through their mind. But in the event that this happens, like where the fuck do people, how do you lie like that? How do you lie like
I
that
don't
to your
get it.
partner? Like where do you pull
I
that
don't
out
get it.
of?
Like loyalty is so big, but also just like
Yeah.
honesty and just being a good person with like a good moral compass. Like if you are having these feelings of, and because there's a difference, like, but there's not a difference, it's all the same. But there's different levels of cheating, but it's all cheating at the end of the day. If
Yeah.
you're having these thoughts of like, I don't want to be with my person, they don't provide something for me, have that conversation if nothing changes and say, this has to end here and I need to go elsewhere. And so like
Dude.
that
Yeah.
you're doing that person a good deed. I know like breaking up is hard, but like you're doing that person a good deed by saying, hey, this isn't working out and I don't want to hurt you by cheating on you, but I also can't stay with you. Let's move on as friends, or let's move on, not as friends, however it may be. But like do that person a an honor by not breaking them like that, because that's just too much. Honestly, also like emotional cheating, when you're taking the steps to cheat on someone, that's crazy too. Like DMing people, sliding into the DMs, going on like dating apps when you're in a relationship, or saving people's numbers from the bar or the club or something. I'm like,
Nasty,
girl.
dude. Nasty.
And it's like, I
But
didn't cheat.
anyway,
You did. But
yeah, you
anyways,
did. That is a different, yeah, that is a complete, I think there's different tiers to cheating. There's different levels of cheating. It's all bad, but I think it all has its own category.
yes, the tiers of
I,
cheating.
yeah, I don't want to say tiers because it makes it sound like one is worse than the other. It's all
It's
disgusting,
unanimous.
demonic, like it's all on the worst. Like the
Yes.
worst thing that you can do, and anyone who cheats is going through the eighth layer of hell. But I think there's
Hmm.
different categories.
Yeah, categories is a better word. It's not tiers as much as it is like
A
there's different
category.
there's different categories and different like cheating at the end of the day sucks and it's disgusting, and like you said, demonic is a perfect word. But I think I think that like there's variations of it, but you have to look for the red flags. You have to look for the red flags, and sometimes you can't see them, and sometimes I can't see. I'm blind.
I get it.
But
People are blind. People are blinded by love. I get it, and like it's, I don't know.
it
It
happens.
happens. It happens.
It happens.
It happens to the best of us sometimes.
And we're gonna move on. And Becky B is happy, I'm guessing, and beautiful. Honest, I know that Becky B is
We
beautiful. So
we can move on to Carly C. That she says
Carly C.
Carly C. She says, I literally can't figure out what I'm doing with my life. I'm 23. Any advice?
Girl, I'm 24. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm in that boat right with you.
I'm 26 and I'm still figuring it out. I think that I was lucky enough that I have always known from a really young age what I wanted to do, and has not everyone is born with that, and I recognize that, and that's a privilege that I have.
Career wise.
However, career-wise, yeah. However, that doesn't mean that it's not going to come to you. That doesn't mean that you can't hone in on different hobbies, on different passions, and figure out how you can turn that into a career. Figure
Yeah.
out how you can turn that into something that you can monetize and turn into your everyday life.
I feel like that's what I did. Like
Yeah.
I spent 6 years in school. I did 4 years undergrad. I got my bachelor's in public health, and then I spent 2 years getting my master's in public health leadership. And I'm an influencer. like
But that's okay. That's you were able to speak to like to every different part of you and kind of appeal and appease that part of you.
yeah, like I bring in my knowledge and background in public health a lot to content creation, whether it looks like it or not. It's a lot of behind the scenes, like being able to effectively communicate. Because like I did minor in health communications when I was in college and gender and women's studies. So like I know the importance of like communicating with people. And so like I was able to like kind of take that and put it into like influencing. So like my advice for, people who are in like their early to mid 20s that feel like they don't know what they're doing with your life. No one knows what they're doing with your life. I'm
No.
I'm married, and you would think that I know what I'm doing because I'm married, I have my career, and I have blah blah blah. That kind of stuff does not mean that you know what you're doing. It just means that like by happenstance, I got
Yeah.
really lucky and I met the person that I want to be with for the rest of my life. However, that's not a determining factor of like I have all my shit together. That's like one
Yeah.
part of my life that like I have solid, and that helps me really be able to then focus in my energy and my efforts on like, okay, I want to craft my career, I want to build my career. Let's financially try and build things up. And so like no one ever really knows what they're doing, but I think that you have to be able to like take the pieces like you were saying of like things that you know how to do really well and apply them to other things. Like if you and there's nothing wrong with changing careers at any point in your life at all.
That's true. That's true. And I think we are at a stage that we're so lucky and we're so young that we're able to do that, and we have the flexibility. Maybe we don't have the financial backing to do that. That's a completely different story, but we do have the
Mhm.
flexibility and the energy to be able to like go into different avenues and explore and to see what fulfills us and what makes us happy,
And
and I think that
yeah.
when I had first started my job 3 years ago, my manager told me, she's like, if you feel like you do not know what you're doing, that is okay, because
Mhm.
the odds that everyone else around you feels the same way is very high. And all you
Mhm.
have to do is ask a question. If you feel any insecurity, if you have any doubt, and you collaborate with people along the way to get to that next step.
Yeah.
And that's honestly something that's made me feel it's made me feel really comfortable with my like professional life. And I work in the music industry, so it's it's really fast paced. There's a lot of things constantly changing, so it's stressful. So that's something that my manager had told me that I'm able to apply to my professional life as well as my
Mhm.
personal life, because if you have these conversations with your friends, you kind of realize that not everyone is as secure as they make out to be, and that's
Mhm.
okay. That is
Mhm.
okay.
It doesn't mean that none of us have second, like thoughts about our careers every now and then, and are we doing the right thing, because no one really knows if they're doing the right thing. But
Yeah.
are you happy in what you're doing, or do you feel like you're succeeding in what you're doing? How does what I'm doing right now in my life relate and correlate to like my goals, like my bigger goals and my smaller goals? So
Yeah.
I don't know, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to like have our shit figured out like so early, but it's I don't ever really think you do have your shit figured out, because when you're in
No.
your 20s, like there's always going to be a next stage, and you're going to have to
Yeah.
figure out the obstacles that that stage comes with. So like I
Yeah.
know my next stage might be buying a home. What kind of obstacles come with that? My next stage after that might be
Having a family.
having a family, what, like, oh my god, that opens up the floodgates for obstacles.
Yeah.
So like you have to kind of be able to adapt, and I think that if you're able to adapt and really like have a strong foundation of who you are and like really find yourself and be able to like, yeah, just I think at the end of the day, like adaptability is really important, and like being able to problem solve in these situations that like arise from like the new chapters in your life, and like I don't know, health wise, like the I don't know, like there's so many things that
Yeah.
could come your way, and like you're never gonna have everything 100% figured out, and like I think that we
No
just need
one
to
has it
accept that.
figured out. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that something that I always preach is that like you can want so many things out of life, but that doesn't mean that life is going to necessarily give it to you. So having that understanding and that flexibility that you may not be getting, you may not know what you want, but the things that you know that you want, you may also not get them. Like you need to kind of come to terms with the fact that there are certain things that are just not meant for you and that will come to you in a different form, and that's okay. That's just a
yeah,
part of life.
yeah. I mean, like we can plan. Like me being a Virgo, I love to plan so much,
Oh
but
my god, I
I
love
can
planning.
like I can have as many goals and as many plans as I want, and I can have a perfectly written timeline that makes sense in my head, but the universe is going to be
Mhm.
like, not today. Here's
Yeah.
another timeline. So we
Yeah.
have to be okay and like learn, because it's one thing for me to be like, you have to be okay with that. It's harder to do that than we think. Like it
Yeah.
like sometimes we like tether ourselves to our goals or our success in careers or our relationships or our friendships, whatever it may be, but like you have no idea what's going to come tomorrow. So being able to adapt and move fluidly through life is really important, and
Yeah.
just like letting some things go and shedding some, you know, some preconceived thoughts, and maybe I don't know, like I just think that what's helped me a lot is I have my goals and I have that set in my head, but
Yeah.
sometimes if a new opportunity comes my way, I'm able to bring it in, look at it, kind of like analyze it and say,
Yeah.
okay,
See how
this
that
might
fits in
be
with what you're currently working for.
exactly. And like maybe
Yeah.
there's like a tiny shift in my timeline. Maybe there's
And that's okay.
like a tiny bump in the road, but like I can get through this because we're so strong, we're so intelligent, we're so knowledgeable. And at the end of the day, it is meant to happen to you.
Yeah.
And just roll with the punches and allow things to come into your life. Like just
Yeah.
allow all the blessings and abundance to come into your life.
Yeah, I think that the probably the most important thing to figuring out what you want in your life is allowing the fluidity of life take place and just embracing that
Hmm.
fluidity and understanding that things will come in its own time. And when they're
Yeah,
ready for you, they're ready for you. And I know that's a really annoying thing to listen to because I remember when people would tell me that I was like, you don't know what you're talking about.
ugh,
Fuck you.
I
It's a
know.
really annoying thing, but it's kind of the reality of it. You really can't control many things other than what you as an individual are doing. You can't control what's going to happen to you tomorrow. You can't control what's going to happen to you 2 days from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. So the most important thing I think is embracing that fluidity and like really, really enjoying things as they come through.
Yeah, and trying to be as present as you can in this moment, because you have achieved so many things that a past version of you was yearning for and was looking forward
Correct.
to. So like celebrate what you've done and what you've accomplished and what you're living in, and bask in that, while still being able to like balance looking towards the future, because like we get so caught up in like wanting to go into the next scene and like wanting to
Yeah.
have more and success and this and whatnot, but it's like I know that 10 years ago, Issa, like she wouldn't believe like where I am, like even a year
Yeah.
ago. So it's like you need to like pat yourself on the shoulder and be like, I've accomplished so much, and I'm still working towards, who
Correct.
I'm gonna be tomorrow. But like the law of detachment has been so wonderful for me lately. I highly suggest like really looking into the law of detachment, and basically just you don't chase things, you attract them. Like you let it go, you work and you do like what you feel like you need to do.
Hmm.
And like you said, like Sophie's so right, like being able to like just
Embrace the fluidity.
embrace it, and like you can control yourself, but you can't control anything around you. And like once you learn to let go of that need to control, like it's blissful. Like it's really
Yeah.
nice.
It took me
Yeah.
quite a bit of therapy sessions to understand that concept and to fully
Period.
grasp it. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe she has a point. Maybe my therapist is not stupid after all.
And no, and We all have those thoughts. Like it's hard to hear it, like to for someone just to be like, okay, let it go. It's like very. It sounds condescending. It sounds like much easier said than done. But at the end of the day, like it's not just letting go. It's being able to detach yourself from these things that you've tethered yourself to, and just say, if it's meant to be, it'll happen,
It will be.
and
Yeah,
it will
but
be. Yeah.
in terms of figuring yourself out, coming back to the overarching
Right.
conversation, deep down you know what you want.
Yeah.
And I think the most difficult thing is putting together a path for you to get to what you want. And that's okay, but it's okay to lean on people for advice. It's okay to lean on
Mm-hmm.
people for support during that time of navigating yourself. And the most important thing that you need to remember is no one else knows what they're doing. So it's not just
No.
you. It's okay. You don't have to
Yeah.
feel bad about that. Embrace that and everything that comes with figuring your path out.
Yeah, and I highly suggest writing out your goals and your dreams. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's super
That's a good
super
one.
powerful to write
Like a
everything down.
manifestation journal almost.
Yeah, and it's even like a like if you want to write down like whatever works for you, like a timeline, and you say like by this time I would like to be, or write it in present tense, like your goals and your dreams and your aspirations. Always writing in present tense is very powerful, but it also kind of helps you visually see
Yeah,
everything on one piece of paper. Just like, okay, this is kind of like my goals, and then per goal you can have sub goals like of what you
correct.
can do right now for that. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, and this is like a whole episode in itself. Like we could talk about this forever, but no one
Yeah.
knows what they're doing. No one knows what they're doing, and you are doing amazing.
Yeah. You're doing
Yep.
wonderful. So let's
I have
Dandy D has another.
no. That's her, not her name. Her name is Denise,
Denise D. That's my hairstylist name.
and I'm Denise.
I'm Denise. Okay, Denise D. Would you like to kick off Denise D?
Yeah, this is a hard left, but okay. So Denise D says, I had this friend that I've been friends for years, and I made a new friend, and they used to shout at each other and blame each other for every little thing. And one day, oh, this is a two-parter. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And one day she made an edit of how people can change and then said it's my new friend's fault that she hates me and that we're not friends anymore. And she used to make me hang out with her mean friends. That was the submission. So what I'm gathering here is that there were three friends, that Dunice was friends with someone.
Yeah, so friend A was a new friend, friend B being the friend that Dunice already brought into this relationship. But friend A and friend B kind of had beef and were taking it out on Dunice,
Yes. And then Dunice is not friends with neither either of these people anymore, with friend A or friend B. So,
which is good. If your friends are going to be dragging you into their beef, kind of can't do it like that. It's okay for your friends to vent and
mhm,
to say, hey, like this person kind of made me upset because of XYZ. Like that's normal. We're human. We're going to upset each other. But
mhm,
to have you in the middle of their drama,
it's
not
not
your
fair.
circus, not your monkeys, that's not anything that you have to concern yourself with.
Yeah, it's not fair. And like these friendships of I take it that Dunice is a little younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like my friendships when I was younger, there's so many things that are going on when you're in your teens, even when you're in your 20s, obviously, but there's so many new things and new factors that are going on, and people are kind of like trying to still find themselves a little bit, and like kind of find like who, like the people that they want to be friends with, and kind of like the crowds
Yeah.
that they want to run with. And so you're still doing that when you're in your 20s. Like your interests change, your situations change, and so everything's kind of like there's a lot of things going. There's a lot of hormones brewing, and it can be very difficult, and like teens can be mean, and school can be really tough. And so I think that those friendships oftentimes will fizzle out, and if you're lucky, you will have these really really long, like lifetime kind of friendships from like people that you were friends with in middle school, high school. And that's
Yeah.
like truly not always the case. But when you're a teenager, things are there's a lot going on. And so this might have been like nothing to do with Dunice. Like Dunice had nothing to do with how mean these people were being, but they were unfortunately taking it out on Dunice, and that's just not fair for anyone to
Yeah.
do.
And I also think that it's kind of important to highlight that we are probably like as teenagers, like we were not the best versions of ourselves and we were
Not at
probably
all.
not the best of friends to our group.
Mm-mm.
And that's something that through introspection, like I've come to realize that. And I'm sure there's people who have had that same realization too. It's
Mhm.
like whatever you did back then is not necessarily a reflection of who you are as like who you've
Mhm.
grown up to be, because it's part of that whole cycle of accountability of growing and learning. So as long as you're not like that when you grow up, it's fine. But I do think that this also just kind of sounds like you're young and like you're not the best version of yourself and you're not the best friend that you could potentially be to the other people in your group. And it's unfortunate that you have to feel like that, but it's
Mhm.
just how things go, and it
Yeah.
sucks. And we all have to go through that process of like learning what type of friend we want to be, what type of friend we want to have in our lives. But I think it's so crucial and essential to have these moments because that's the only way that you can progress in your life and in your friendships.
Yeah, and I think that Junice can take a very like valuable lesson from this and kind of say like, I don't like how I was treated, so I won't treat people this way. And I think
Correct.
that that's something that I've taken from. I love what you said too of like, I know that in my past friendships, especially the friendship breakups that I've been through, like I was in the wrong, and sometimes I wasn't, but like there were times that I hold myself responsible for like maybe the friendship ending or fizzling out, or I know I did something that I wouldn't do now, but I also take a lot of lessons and I say, okay,
Mhm.
what can I learn from this, from those friendships, and kind of
Correct.
even nowadays I'm like, huh, well, I think I'm kind of like regressing back. Is that the right word? Like when you
Yeah. And I
regress
think
back?
that it's also kind of important to note that what was I going to say? I literally just blanked out.
I don't know.
Holy.
It happens. It
Hold
happens.
on. Hold
I was
on.
just saying
It's going to
like
come through me through osmosis.
come on, Osmosis. You better work, Osmosis girl.
She's not working. She took the day off. She
Osmosis.
took the day off.
She's tired. But I think like sometimes we regress back to like our kind of like more childish, I want to say. Like I sometimes like I let my like inner child respond to things,
Yeah.
and that could definitely be what's happening in these situations. And so I would definitely just like distance myself from these people. I think that you learned a really good lesson of like, I don't want to be around people like this and I don't want to treat
Yeah.
people like this. So it's okay to find new friends. It's okay to kind of like shift your perspective on friendships. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you went through that because that's really annoying and that's toxic energy that we don't need in our lives.
And I think the biggest, if you want an immediate solution to this, is having a conversation with friend A and friend B, even if they're ex friends, if you kind of want to have that closure, having a conversation to
Mhm.
understand what they were going through at that moment in time. So that way you can explain how you were feeling and how you felt in that moment in time. And that's a lesson that you can take away with any friendship that you want to have in the future.
Absolutely. Communication is key. And
Correct.
Dunice actually sent another submission, which we could actually give her advice having to do with this.
Yes.
Do you wanna read what she
Yeah.
said?
So she says, I have a big friendship group. It's like six of us, and one person keeps saying that we leave her out. So what should I do? Because she's really quiet and shy, but the rest of us are loud and talk loads. So what should I do? She also says that she's left out every day. I
Yeah.
feel that because I am the quiet and the shy friend, and I do see, like, I have seen it in the past, and I think that's on you. If you recognize it and if you're acknowledging that she is feeling left out, what
Hmm.
more can you do to include her? If you guys are planning on
Absolutely.
having dinner after school, after work, after whatever, invite her. If you guys are planning on doing a vacation for a long weekend, invite her. She can say no. Let her say no, but all she
Hmm.
wants is the opportunity to say yes or no.
Yeah, and to feel included. Like she
And
wants
to
to feel included.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that she's shy or that she's quiet. She's happy listening and laughing and just experiencing that moment with you. So
Hmm.
it has a lot more to do to like with you as a person and like your your responsibility to this friendship. As we were saying, it's like learn the type of you can learn the type of friend that you want to be from your past experiences, and
Hmm.
this is a wonderful experience to kind of capitalize on that and understand what you can do to make her feel loved, to make her feel included, to make her feel like she's a valued part of the group. Because I
Right.
am the shy and the quiet girl, and I'm telling you, all she wants to do is be there and experience it, and give her the opportunity to say no. Even if you invite her and she says no, give her the opportunity to do that, because that will make her feel included.
And it's funny because Sophie's a very quiet one. I am not quiet at all. I don't even know what that word means. I'm very outgoing and I like to be very loud, but I also have trained myself to think like I can tell when someone isn't being included or kind of like whatever
Mm-hmm.
they say kind of gets talked over or pushed aside. And I think that it is so brave. She's so brave to be able to like notice these things and be that one person that steps up and goes, "Hey, she's not feeling included. We need to do a better job at including her."
Yeah.
And you need to take that responsibility. And not that you need to, but I think it would really benefit you and your friendship group if you take the responsibility of being like, "Hey, friend B doesn't really feel included, and I think that we should do a better job
Yeah.
at including her, and like maybe let's ask her what she would want to do next time we hang out. Let's ask her, you know, even if you're the only one taking that initiative, that friend is really it's going to really be impactful and that friend isn't going to
Yeah.
forget that."
I think if you're the only person recognizing that she's really shy and just wants to be included, and you are her friend, I think it is your responsibility to take the initiative and kind of stand up for her and the rest of the group, because that's all she needs, is just visibility and to feel
Mhm.
included. If you
Mhm.
recognize that, it's your responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, yes, morally speaking, yes, because there are four other people that should be doing the same. But if
That's
you're the only
true.
one that does it, it's a group effort. But like
Correct.
morally speaking, if you see something that's wrong and if you see something that's
Yeah.
off, morally you should
Yeah.
really step up and like it'll teach you a valuable lesson for like things that come up later in
Yeah.
life. I
Yeah,
do.
I'm saying more, if she's the only one that like recognize it, you kind of have that responsibility.
So definitely communication for Junice is very important. We do have A B C D E what's it, Eleanor?
Ellie.
Ellie, we have A B C D E F. We have Ellie and Francis kind of submitted similar questions about Ellie said how to be our best self and walk into our confidence era. And what did Francis say? What did Francis say?
How to feel confident in my body and myself. I get super shy around older kids. Okay, I feel
Okay.
that. I hear you. I see you. I understand you.
Confidence.
Who do
Oof.
we want to tackle first? Confidence is a big one.
I
That
mean,
comes with, I think that comes with feeling comfortable and secure within yourself.
and I think the best way to be physically confident is to really tackle being mentally and emotionally confident in your decisions and in your choices. And I think that affirmations are a huge thing that you can really start doing like in the morning. First thing is like like affirming yourself and your body and your soul, just being like, I am beautiful, I'm capable, I'm intelligent, I am radiant. And I think that you start really programming your mind to think in this way. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really impactful because you'll start really carrying yourself differently. And then also, like, kind of like for, I know me and Sophie are like very into fashion and like dressing us like in the way that like makes us confident. And I think that fashion has a really big impact on our confidence. So, like, if you can find pieces that you love and that make you feel happy and that make you feel confident in them, that's huge.
This is really silly, but I have found, yes, haha. This is really silly, but I have found through Queer Eye, watching Queer Eye, how you can kind of unlock those pieces of your confidence that you've had tucked away for a really long time. I love Queer Eye, love JVN, love everyone involved in that show, but JVN specifically, they are
My
such
hero.
an icon. They are such
Mhm,
an icon,
mhm.
and the way that I see them speaking to I don't want, it's not the contestants. I don't know what they call
The
them.
heroes.
The heroes, the way that JVN is speaking to the heroes,
Mhm,
speak to yourself like that.
mhm.
I since I started watching Queer Eye, I started speaking to myself the way that JVN speaks to these heroes, And
Mhm.
I have felt such a difference in the way that I feel about myself. And it's so silly and it's so stupid that you can take this from a TV show, but I
Mhm.
promise you, it works.
It does. It's like it's the whole positive affirmation thing. It's you have to
Correct.
be able to be like, well, everyone else sees it. Why can't I see it? Wait, no, they have a really good point. I am beautiful. I am
Correct.
capable.
And it's that whole thing of faking it until you make it because
Mhm.
your brain doesn't know the difference between the irony or the reality of it.
No idea. Like when I'm pretending that I am Taylor Swift on the Eras tour, like my brain actually
Correct.
like I am Taylor Swift on the Eras tour.
Correct.
It yeah, like finding it's a lot of little things that you can do to like really get
Yeah.
into your confidence era. It's like finding pieces that you feel fit your body because like your body isn't meant to fit into every piece of clothing. The pieces that you
Correct.
buy are meant to fit on your body. And so if they don't, you get rid of them and you get something new that makes you feel confident, that makes you feel happy and like you walk a different way. You glow when you see yourself in the mirror and like kind of trying to push aside the thoughts of other people and what other people might perceive you as and really allowing
Correct.
the focus to be what you feel about yourself because at the end of the day that is the most important thing is what you think and
Correct.
how you feel about yourself.
I think that you need to invest in yourself, whether it
Mhm.
be you want to buy yourself new clothes, you want to buy yourself new shoes, new bags, new skincare, you want to buy yourself self help books, you want to buy yourself healthier food so you can start improving on your physical and mental health.
Mhm.
Invest in yourself in any way that you see is beneficial to you. It does not have to be anything exuberant. And you don't have
Yes.
to buy yourself a $500 purse. You don't need to buy your like no, it's just a small thing that you know is going to make a difference in the way that you think and you feel about yourself. And it makes a difference. It's part of the treat
Yeah.
economy.
Yes, the trade economy.
When you treat yourself, you're investing into yourself, and that's one of the things that contributes to your confidence because you're feeling good about the things that you're doing now.
Yeah, it's really important to invest in yourself and no investment is too little or too big. Like if you're investing in yourself, uh you bought yourself a $10 pair of sunglasses like
It
but
doesn't
you know
matter.
that you love
Yeah.
them and you know that you look good in them like it's these kinds of things that it's like oh yeah I am beautiful and like also I think also the way that you speak to others and how you look at others is also really going to be impactful on how you look at yourself like if you're constantly saying like, constantly picking out insecurities of others or beating down on people like
Yeah.
you you have to be able to treat others how you would treat yourself and vice versa. So like I think it's really important to like tell others that they are beautiful while you also tell yourself that you're beautiful. Like it's there's so many things that go into it, but it's really like treating yourself nicely and giving yourself the TLC that you need is really important.
I also think that treating yourself kindly when things don't necessarily go your way is really
Yeah.
important into building your confidence. Because it kind of goes back to what I was saying is like you can really plan and want for something, but if life doesn't give that to you, that's okay. Be kind to yourself and give yourself another opportunity to reach that goal. It's
Right.
not a one and done thing. It's one of those things that I see a lot of people struggling with. It's like, fuck, I wasn't able to do this. So, like, what else am I supposed to do? It's kind of over for me. No, it's not. Give yourself the kindness, give yourself the grace to
Mhm.
grow and reach that goal again. It's
Grow
okay.
gracefully.
I
Yeah.
think
I
so,
think
and
yeah.
I think falling gracefully is a huge, 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 huge. Um, it's a huge step into building like another. It's like a huge building block of confidence is being able to fall gracefully and getting up again.
Yeah, and it's a learning curve. Like you have to be able to just be like, okay, it didn't work out. What can I learn from the situation? How can we move
Yeah,
forward? How can we be better in the future? And just it's just it's growth and you have
yeah,
to be able to like nourish yourself too, your relationship with yourself. But and that's all we have to give you today. That's all the time that we're allowed to. We're we're under strict time constraints here.
but if you guys would want more tea, more advice to share, feel
Yes.
free to continue sharing with us, and
Maybe
maybe we can
yeah.
do a little recurring segment where we just kind of have more of a personal conversation with you guys.
Yeah, I love it. I love kikiing with them. Like it's so fun. And I really hope that you guys, all 14 of you, keep submitting things to the email, to the Instagram, and to the TikTok. They're all linked in the bio.
Hmm.
And yeah, we just like love hearing what you guys have to say and helping you guys out as much as we can, even if you don't want to take any of our advice at all.
You don't have to take any of our advice, but we hope that you enjoyed it. At least
Yeah, I
you got a
enjoyed
good
it.
giggle. Maybe you got a good giggle out of it, and that's all we ask.
And we love you guys, and we will see you again
Peace,
soon.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.